Okay, let's just jump right in. There's a massive shift happening on the world stage. I mean, right now. It's not some far-off theory. The tectonic plates of global power are actually moving, and a new, expanding alliance is right at the heart of it. We're talking, of course, about BRICS Plus. And to really wrap your head around the scale of this, just look at this number. The countries in this group now represent almost half of every single person on Earth. So yeah, this isn't some small, exclusive club. This is a global heavyweight for sure. So, what's the big deal here? Well, at its core, this is all about a group of powerful nations joining forces to challenge the way the world has been run for decades. They're basically looking at the system and asking a really fundamental question: is it time for a new world order? All right, first things first, let's break down that original name. BRICS is an acronym for the 5 founding members: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The whole idea was that these were the major emerging economies that were really going to shape the 21st century. But that was just chapter 1. The club just went through a massive expansion, and this is where things get really interesting. So let's take a look at who's in the club now. Wow. Okay, so you can see right away the new members bring a ton of different things to the table. You've got major oil producers like the UAE and Iran joining, alongside strategically crucial nations like Egypt and Ethiopia. This isn't just a small addition. It's a move that dramatically beefs up the group's economic and political muscle. And this expansion is such a big deal that the group now has a new name: BRICS Plus. It basically signals that this is a whole new era for the alliance. It's bigger, it's way more influential, and its agenda is getting much, much broader. And believe it or not, the influence doesn't even stop there. Beyond the full members, you've got this whole new category of partner countries. What this really shows you is the magnetic pull this bloc has for nations, especially in the global south, that feel like the old Western-led system hasn't always worked out for them. Okay, so what's the end game here? What are they actually trying to achieve? Well, it might have all started with economics, but the BRICS Plus agenda today is way bigger. We're talking about reshaping global finance, trade, and, yeah, even politics. A huge piece of their strategy is this thing called the New Development Bank, or NDB. The easiest way to think about it, it's their direct answer to the World Bank. It gives them a way to fund huge projects in developing countries without needing to get a green light from Western-dominated institutions. Okay, this is a keyword you're going to hear over and over: de-dollarization. The goal here is simple, really. These countries want to trade with each other using their own currencies, the yuan, the ruble, the rupee, instead of always having to use the US dollar. And you might be asking, why is that such a big deal? Well, think about it. When the whole world runs on dollars, it gives the US incredible power to use things like sanctions. De-dollarization is their strategy to get out from under that thumb. And it's not just about the money. They're also pushing for more voting power, a bigger say in big institutions like the UN and the IMF. They want a bigger seat at the global table, one that reflects their actual economic size. And they're creating their own space to coordinate on political issues, completely separate from Washington or Brussels. You add all this up, and it points to one thing: a direct challenge to what experts call Western hegemony. And that's really just a fancy way of saying the long-held dominance of Western countries in world affairs. BRICS Plus is actively trying to build a totally different kind of world. And this slide, it lays out the two competing visions perfectly. For the last 30 or 40 years, you could say we've lived in a largely unipolar world, where the US and its allies pretty much set the rules. What BRICS Plus wants is a multipolar world, where power is spread out among several major players: Washington, Beijing, Moscow, Delhi, and others. Yeah, this quote just nails it. It's about creating a parallel universe, diplomatically speaking, where a huge chunk of the world can get together, set its own agendas, and call its own shots. So here's the key takeaway, right? When they do things like create the New Development Bank, it's not just about funding bridges. It's a strategic play to build a whole separate financial ecosystem, one where institutions like the IMF and the World Bank don't have all the leverage anymore. So, as you can probably guess, this huge challenge has not gone unnoticed. The established powers, especially the United States, they're not just sitting back and watching. They have a playbook to push back. From the American point of view, this whole push for de-dollarization isn't just a friendly economic experiment. It's seen as a direct challenge, an attack even, on a key pillar of American power, the dollar's role as the world's currency. And just to be clear, this isn't about one president or one party. It's a pretty consistent concern in Washington.
And the response strategy is pretty straightforward. You can break it down into 3 steps. First, you identify the threat. You call de-dollarization an attack. Step 2, you apply pressure. You make it costly for them. And the third step, the ultimate goal, is to defend your interests, in this case, protecting the dollar's top spot.
So what's the weapon of choice here? Tariffs. Big ones. The threat of slapping huge taxes, sometimes up to 100% on goods from any country that tries to ditch the dollar, that's a very powerful tool. It's economic hardball, plain and simple.
So where does all this leave us? What we're really watching is this historic tug of war for what the future of the global order is going to look like.
At the end of the day, the thing to remember is that this whole BRICS Plus story is so much more than just economics. It's about geopolitics. It's a fundamental showdown over who gets to write the rules for the 21st century. And that leaves us with the big, final question. We keep hearing this term multipolar world, but as these new powers rise, what does that actually look like? What does it feel like to live in a world with several competing centers of power? Is it safer? Is it more chaotic? Honestly, that's the great unknown we're all walking into.